5 years of fire, 5 years of secrets. Ethan swore he'd never return to the city that almost destroyed him. But when Scarlett's name flashes across a neon-lit alleyway, memories erupt like wildfire. The rain-soaked streets whisper danger and desire, and every step drags him closer to a love that's as volatile as it is irresistible. In a city where hearts burn and fists fly, nothing is certain, except the storm between them is far from over. I've always believed that love was a weapon, something you could hold too close or too far, but never really survive it. And then she walked into my bar like a hurricane wrapped in leather and fire. Scarlett Monroe. The first time our eyes met, it felt like the room itself had shifted, like every shadow in the corners leaned closer to watch. She wasn't the kind of girl who knocked politely on doors. No, she shattered the door, trampled over the welcome mat, and demanded attention without asking for it. And God, I hated how much I wanted to give it. I stood behind the bar, cleaning glasses I didn't need to clean, pretending to be the calm, collected man I liked everyone to believe I was. But inside, my chest was a war zone. Every beat was her name. Every exhale was her scent. The first time she spoke, it was sharp, teasing, dripping with confidence. "You're Ethan, right? The one who thinks he runs this little kingdom?" She smirked like she already knew I did, like she didn't care about the answer. We started slow, or at least she made it seem slow. Drinks became conversations, conversations became dares, and dares became fights that I lost almost every single time. She had this ability to push every button I didn't even know I had, every nerve ending that screamed at me to react, to challenge, to give in. And I did, over and over again. The night she leaned against the pool table, flicking chalk dust from her fingers, her hair catching the dim neon light, I realized I'd been lying to myself for years. I wasn't in control. I never had been. And yet I craved her chaos like oxygen. "You think you can handle me?" she asked one night. And I laughed, but it was half amusement, half fear. I don't know if anyone can. She stepped closer, so close I could feel the heat of her breath on my skin. And in that moment, the world didn't exist beyond us. Every scowl, every smirk, every small fight we had, it all melted away when our lips finally collided in a fire that felt older than anything I'd ever known. We fought. Oh, we fought like animals, like we were testing the limits of control and desire. She slapped me once over a disagreement about a stupid bet, and I nearly kissed her right after. Our hands tangled, voices raised, hearts pounding like war drums. And still, every argument ended in whispers, apologies wrapped in stolen touches. Scarlett wasn't just a girl, she was a force. She broke everything in me I thought was unbreakable, and then rebuilt it with touches, with fire, with rage and love intertwined in ways that made me dizzy. One night, after a fight that left me bruised both physically and emotionally, I found her on the rooftop of the bar, neon lights below, city hum around us, and her eyes reflecting all the chaos she had stirred in me. "Do you ever stop thinking about me?" I asked, voice low, desperate. She laughed, a sound so dangerous and intoxicating I wanted to swallow it whole. "Not if you keep existing," she whispered. And that's when I realized this wasn't a game. This wasn't flirtation. This was war and surrender at the same time. She was my storm, my fire, and somehow against all odds, my salvation. Every day with her was an unpredictable ride. Coffee at sunrise that turned into long debates about everything from music to morality, to late-night walks where our shadows merged in the neon glow of the city streets. Every argument left me raw, every kiss left me burning, every touch left me craving more. The aggressive pull of desire mixed with moments of tenderness was intoxicating. She would glare at me when I made a joke about being untouchable, and I'd bite back with a smirk, only for her to hit my shoulder playfully and walk away. Knowing full well I'd chase her down like a fool, and chase I did, every single time, because Scarlett Monroe wasn't just a girl. She was a challenge, a puzzle, a wildfire. She made me feel alive in ways I hadn't realized I was dead. She made me question everything I thought I knew about love, aggression, control, surrender, and passion. Some nights we'd scream. Some nights we'd laugh until our stomachs hurt. Some nights the silence between us was louder than any fight. And yet, no matter the argument, no matter the bruises, no matter the pride we both stubbornly held, I knew I'd choose her chaos over 100 calm lives any day. She taught me the dangerous beauty of wanting someone so badly it hurt. She taught me that love isn't always soft. It can be rough, aggressive, consuming, and yet entirely worth every scar. And I, Ethan Drake, Had finally found the one person I'd burn for, fight for, and lose myself in without hesitation. The next morning, the sunlight barely pierced the blinds. But it didn't matter. Scarlett was already there, leaning against the counter, hair wild, a crooked smile that promised trouble. "Morning trouble," I muttered, grabbing a mug and trying to look casual. She tilted her head, one eyebrow raised, and that smirk was enough to make me drop the coffee if I weren't careful. Coffee wasn't the only thing spilling over. We fell into our usual rhythm, banter mixed with sparks that could ignite the entire block. Every glance was a challenge, every touch a test of patience, and every laugh a weapon. She knew exactly what buttons to push, and I let her. Let her because it was the only way I could survive without imploding. Then came the night that changed everything. The city lights flickered like distant stars as we prowled the streets after some petty argument escalated into a dare. Scarlett had this habit of walking ahead, daring me to catch up. Her heels clicked like warning bells echoing off the walls. I chased her, heart pounding, adrenaline rushing, knowing full well that I didn't care about the argument anymore. I only cared about her. We stopped by the old pier, the river reflecting neon signs like shattered glass. Her face softened, a rare vulnerability that made my chest tighten. "Ethan, do you ever think about what we're doing?" she asked, voice almost trembling. I stepped closer, brushing a stray lock of hair behind her ear. "Every second," I admitted, and I meant it. Scarlett sighed, leaning into me like the city and its chaos didn't exist. For a moment, the world paused. Just her, just me, and the pulse of our racing hearts sinking in the night. Then she laughed softly, pulling back, teasing, challenging. "Don't think I'm letting you off easy," she said, and the tension broke into one of those kisses that made everything else meaningless. The following weeks were a whirlwind. Arguments that left both of us raw, moments of passion that left us breathless, and quiet evenings where we sat on rooftops, staring at the city, realizing that love doesn't always need a plan. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's aggressive, sometimes it's fire. There were nights when I thought I couldn't handle her, nights when her intensity scared me, and nights when the world seemed against us. But every time she pulled me back, daring me to stay in her storm. She didn't want to tame love, and I didn't either. We were perfect chaos for each other. One evening during a rainstorm that soaked the city in silver light, she grabbed my hand and dragged me under the neon glow of a deserted alley. "Promise me something," she said, eyes glinting like lightning. "Promise me you'll never try to tame me." I looked into those stormy eyes and smiled. "I wouldn't dream of it," I whispered, and kissed her so hard the rain couldn't compete with the heat between us. From that moment, everything changed. We stopped fighting the inevitable. We embraced it. Our love wasn't calm. It wasn't polite. It wasn't soft. It was fire. And fire, as destructive as it can be, also lights up everything around it. We faced the world together, a force no one dared to challenge. Every fight ended in passion, every argument became intimacy, and every silent stare turned into 1,000 unspoken words. We were aggressive, we were intense, we were unstoppable, and then came the night of the final test. A rival, a threat to everything we'd built, appeared. Someone who underestimated what Scarlett and I could do together. She stood by my side, fingers laced with mine, her smirk fearless. "Let's show them what fire looks like," she said. I nodded, and together, we faced the chaos. A perfect storm of love, aggression, and unity. The battle was brief, but intense. Fists, shouts, and heart-pounding danger filled the night. But every glance she gave me reminded me why I fought. Not for pride, not for ego, but for the woman who made me feel alive. And when the dust settled, hands scratched and hearts racing, we were victorious. Not just over the threat, but over everything that had tried to define what our love should be. Back at the bar, soaked and laughing like maniacs, Scarlett turned to me, hair plastered to her face, eyes glowing. "You know, you're lucky I like chaos," she teased. I pulled her close, laughing and growling all at once. "Lucky, huh? We're doomed." She kissed me, and I realized I didn't care either way. In the end, we discovered something crucial. Love isn't about safety. It isn't about rules. It isn't about tame affection or quiet nights. Love, real love, is aggressive, consuming, unpredictable, and utterly intoxicating. It's fire, and we burn together, bright enough to light up the darkest nights, strong enough to survive any storm. And so, In the city that never sleeps, Scarlett and I continue our reckless, fiery dance. Every fight, every laugh, every touch, every kiss, it's all part of the story we write together. A story of aggression, passion, and unstoppable love. We didn't just fall in love, we collided. And in that collision, we found everything worth fighting for.